So the shortest of our practices so far, with the scrimmage being tomorrow and being earlier one at 12:30. So we'll do a lot of work tonight, and as always, it's kind of exciting to get into the Coliseum and to see guys move around, and especially your young guys in that type of setting. Obviously, you don't have the crowd, but it'll be good to see. So we'll throw a lot of young guys out there, take them out there for a bunch of plays, and see what happens.
Have you decided whether you're going to have tackling tomorrow?
We have not. We're going to set that point.
Would you stop early today because of the heat?
No, that was we followed the schedule for the most part. It was just really with the scrimmage being tomorrow at 12:30, and already been out here for a walkthrough once today. We felt like don't wear them out too much so we can get the best out of them tomorrow.
What do you think of Morgan Breslin so far?
Yeah, Morgan has had a really good camp. It was a great thing he was here in the spring. We see that all the time. It's so hard for guys to come in the fall without a spring. There's a big difference, and he's miles ahead of where he was when he got here to start the spring. So it's good to see, and it's a position we need a lot of help at. So our number one concern right now is defensive line in general.
Did Robert look like Robert today?
I wouldn't say that, but that's the best he's looked since last year. So it's good to see. Pushed him a little more. Kind of did what you used to see him here. Put him where the balls were going, so we have to make 5-6 plays in a row, and he responded well.
How much do you expect him to participate in the scrimmage tomorrow?
I don't know. We're going to meet tonight and figure out everybody's reps tonight.
How are you digging the new office?
Yeah, it's great. The facility is very, it's really great for our players. To have all their academics right there, the training room, everything there, and it's very convenient for us as coaches too. So I can't imagine there's a better one. I'm not allowed to use it really because I can't watch anything from it. It's compliance. So, but it's a nice setting, and the number one priority there after our current student athletes is recruiting. And it's a great place to recruit to walk in, especially from out of state.
How's Chad Wheeler progressing along?
Doing well. We played him at both right and left. And, another guy who got here in the spring, even though he couldn't participate. Really, I hope he's going to be one of those stories. Not a 5-star guy, not as highly recruited as a lot of other guys, but it's coming with the right attitude. And there's been a lot of stories like that here before.
Do you know how much weight he's put on since he's been here?
Yeah, he's probably put on a good 30 pounds since he first got here. Which is great to see, and he's holding it well during the practices.
Ton of DBs, ton of takeaways this camp so far. What do you think the biggest contributor to that is? Just experience?
I think Marvin Sanders has done a great job, and this is the best. Nothing to have to do with anybody who was here before. This is the best I've seen our defensive backs play. Assignment-wise, knowing what to do, it comes with a lot of experience. You mentioned takeaways. Go back to when he was at Nebraska. I think he led the country in 1 million takeaways. So
can you tell the way he coaches it, there's just a different approach to things on the field?
Well, I wouldn't say different, because I don't want to compare him to other people,
right.
But I'll describe his style, and I love it. He's in their face, he gets after them, he challenges them. There's not a bunch of walk-through stuff. You're going to be in shape if you play DB for him, and that's the way it was. That's the way it was here a long time ago. So we'll get back to it.
Is there any update on Isaiah Wiley and Marquis Simmons?
Talked a lot about not a lot of depth at tailback, but now are you looking at the position and saying we probably have 4 guys there that are going to help?
Well, I think, if you group the running backs in general, the backfield there, this was a discussion today in our staff room, that group has completely changed. That was probably the number one concern in spring. If you go back to spring, someone couldn't line up yet. Jaleel wasn't here. Silas wasn't here. DJ really hadn't developed much, had the long run in the Coliseum, and now the group, is not of concern. So they still got to play, but as far as knowing what to do, Kennedy's done a great job with them. They've really stepped up, and I think that the competition helps. It was so thin before. You had a fullback and you had a tailback to the group, especially a proven one. All you do is help.
What was your reaction to Mora's comments today?
Yeah, I don't really think that's something to joke about. So that's all I got to say on it.
related question, not exactly the same, but does the subject of safety around the campus come up when you talk to recruits and parents, and if so, what do you say to them about it?
Well, it only comes up when opposing coaches bring it up. So, we have stats and to point out and show the facts, opinions. We feel that the campus is very safe. It's very expensive to go here. A lot of people send their kids here from around the world, and so we feel that it's very safe.
Coach, in terms of recruiting, is there anything that's, I guess, kind of off in terms of not untouchable, in terms of when you're recruiting players and things that you may say about other schools versus your school?
Well, I think I know what you're asking. I would like to say that our staff, we don't negative recruit. That message comes from the top, comes from me to them that there's no need to here at SC. Go in the house, get on the phone, and talk about SC. There's so many great things to talk about here as far as the school and the history of the football program. It's the greatest place in the world, and so there's no need to talk about other places. So it's my belief that we don't do that.
About Giovanni DiPaolo, he's been here for a while. Just what do you expect out of him this next season?
Yeah, unfortunately, Gio hasn't been practicing here as of late. So he's got to play for us, to really be able to evaluate him, get him in there, and let him play some, and hopefully in these scrimmages at some point.
Talk about the way Lamar came back, kind of looked like he got dinged yesterday, and it looked like today. Is that a good sign?
Yeah, it is. We really watch that a lot in our guys, and I think if you look, if you were to list whoever you think are 6, 8, 10 best players, I think one of the number one thing you find is how competitive they are and how much they love to practice. As you start going through the list, you have to pull Robert out, you have to pull Marquise out, you have to pull Randall out, you have to pull TJ out, you have to pull Hayes out. That's what we want all our guys to get to. And so it's great for our young guys to see that. And so we watch. We see does Lamar, come back out, even though he could have stayed out. And Collett Holmes today, they took Collett Holmes out and sent him inside to go do a workout, and on his own he threw himself back in. So it's great to see, and I think that we have a great culture right now, and it's our job to make sure our young guys understand that.
You talked about how you might move Hayes Pillard to Mike if Lamar Dawson's out during the season. We saw Brian Cushing do that a few years ago. How hard is that transition?
It depends on the system. It was probably harder for Brian because where he was playing wasn't as close to Mike rule-wise. Hayes's wouldn't be quite as hard because they have a lot of similar rules in our system. We're going to do that here probably next week. We're going to put him there for practice just to make sure that we're not doing it the week of the game or something like that. He's getting some snaps at Mike this early in camp.
There's been a lot of talk about how Curtis and DJ welcome Silas and show them the ropes. That group obviously is getting a lot of attention now, but is that kind of a team-wide thing? Guys kind of lifting up the new guys?
Well, I think that has to do with Silas. And I watched it closely to see. I believe that the way that Silas came and worked from the beginning, and the way that he was in meetings, and the way he was out here, I think that he earned their respect. And I think you see it too. You see him run, you see the way that they fit up and stuff. Nobody's trying to cheap shot him or anything like that. I think that's because they respect him. They respect him because what they see out here, but also who he is. Hang out. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.